welcome to our Jaffa Cake workshop. Mr. Boozy Baker is behind the camera. He will be taking your comments, any questions you have.
Delicious.
So Max has been in the kitchen with me before. Yeah, you did the 3-bean chili, didn't you?
Yep.
So he's back again for Jaffa Cakes just because he wants to eat them.
Oh yeah.
Right, Max, could you put actually Ammar's on hand as well? We're getting so professional now. We've got kitchen hands. Thank you. Right. So your jelly, we said in the little video that to prepare, get yourself a tin, line it with parchment, and then you're going to pour the jelly, and it was a reduced amount of water with that, so that we created this thin sheet of jelly. So I'll just show you how thin that is, just for those that haven't done it yet. It's really thin. And we're going to come back to using that later. So I've got that. You can keep that in the fridge for now if you want, or it can be out on the side, it doesn't matter, but we will come back to the jelly. The other thing we need to do is to prepare our tins. Now, if you did the roulade workshop with us, you will remember that we really had to grease the parchment paper for the Swiss roll roulade because it has no fat in it. This recipe, I know I had quite a few comments saying, is there any butter? There isn't in this, so we are going to grease the tin really well to help lift those little sponges out of the tin when they're cooked, otherwise they are going to get quite stuck. So Max, you can do this.
Yep.
So I've got 2 tins, we only need one. So what you need to do is get some of the butter and just grease the tin, and that's the only butter you need is on the tin. Right, are you alright there, Mr. Boozy Baker?
Mm.
You sure?
There were lots of hellos, so I can't keep up, so hello to everyone.
Have we got any shout outs or any birthdays today?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. And who's making this for Valentine's Day? Because I think Jaffa Cake for Valentine's is quite good. Well done.
Sheila's asked, can we use baking cases? And I know there's been a couple of questions about oven temperatures as well.
Okay. So anything that can hold a little bit of sponge for the oven, that's all you need. So if you've got a deeper, this is quite shallow, these ones. I'll show you on the spare one. This is quite a shallow tin. If you've got deeper ones for like real muffins, you can use those. You're just going to not fill it so much, so you'll just have to scoop them out. If you've got a silicone case, you could use those. To be honest, you could make yourself a large Jaffa Cake if you wanted to. You just need to adjust the cooking times. And oven temperatures, that was the other one, wasn't it? I've got another one. What? I've just keep replicating. It's amazing. So oven temperatures is 180 degrees Celsius, or 160 for fan, or gas mark 4. Well done.
More questions here. What are we greasing it with?
So you can use margarine or butter. You can use oil, but I do think butter is a better thing to grease it with because you want more fat.
Louise says, can she use a cake release spray?
Yeah, have a go.
And Sue, would paper baking cases stick?
Yeah, they are. You're going to have to grease them. It's a bit, I don't know if you did the Swiss roll with us, but it will stick because there's no fat in the actual sponge. So I wouldn't use the paper if you can help it. You may even be able just to dollop these onto a flat tray, but I haven't tried that, so don't take me at my word there, because you are just doing like a spoonful, but you might get more of a spread. The ideal thing is you want a little bit of rise, so you do kind of want something to capture it.
Mark's saying it's not going to last till Valentine's Day. Mandy says it's her birthday on Monday. So
happy birthday for Monday.
She'll be eating these for her birthday or making more if they don't last that long.
So I was going to say, these are going to make 12 Jaffa Cakes. I'm going to stick with the 12 because we often do workshops and we make like family size portions, and we know there's quite a few people out there that there's 1 or 2 of you in the house. I would suggest as a family you may want to double this because you almost wolf them down, you inhale them.
Yeah.
So
half of them for you guys and the rest for me.
Oh, okay. But the jelly will give you enough to make more of the little orange bits for your Jaffa Cake. So you won't need to do any more jelly, it'll just be the rest. But have a go, you can always do 12. Use, especially if you've only got 1 tin, do the first lot, see how they turn out, and you can always make more because they're really quick.
Can we use gluten-free flour?
I haven't done it, but I can't see why not. Have a go.
Amandine's asking about a large Jaffa cake. What is this heavenly language?
So you could just use a cake tin and pour your butter in, but you're going to have to cook it for longer and you'll have to test that. So I would imagine you might want to double the amount of time in the oven, but you'll have to just keep having a look at it. Now, let's get on with our sponges. Yes.
One more thing. If they don't have an electric whisk, is that going to be a problem?
So if you haven't got an electric whisk, get your mussels out. You can use a hand whisk and just go for it. We're not looking. It's not like when we do meringue and we're looking for to create from transparent egg white to big fluffy clouds. But we do want to aerate that as much as possible so we get nice fluffy sponges. So I don't know if you've noticed as well. I know this is probably as controversial as pineapple on a pizza, but it is a sponge. It is a cake. These Jaffa cakes, being biscuit cake,
They're
it is
cakes.
a sponge. It is a cake. Right. And we could do with that bowl that I've left the other side. Thank you very much. It's a good job we've got Anmar on hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sarah's joined late. Says what we've done so far. It's just greased the tin.
Preheated the oven, 180 or 160 fan, gas mark 4, and we've greased our tin. Right. So there's not a lot to this, guys. You're going to get your 25 grams of sugar. Max, do you want to do this?
I'd love to, thank you.
Okay.
All of it?
Yeah, all of it. It's not a lot. I know I had quite a few people say, have you missed something off here? That's not a lot of ingredients. It's really not. Yeah, you want to get a spoon or something to crack it. That's it. And you put your egg in with the sugar. That's it, Max.
It sounds like a workshop where we might have to work quite quickly because people are eating their ingredients.
Don't eat all the chocolate. Right, so you've got 1 egg and 25 grams of sugar, and I've just put that in a bowl, and we're going to whisk that, and you want to whisk it for a while. So it's going to get noisy. We will stop to take any questions if Mr. Boozy Baker puts his hand up, but otherwise we're going to get whisking the sugar and the eggs. That's 25 grams of sugar and 1 egg. Do we have questions before I put the electric whisk on?
Because we're not.
No, just comments about chocolate being eaten, Buzz.
We'll just have extra chocolate, that's fine. I've been eating chocolate too. Right, Matt, shall we do this?
Yeah.
Can we do it? You alright? What you'll notice, I haven't finished it, I'm going to get back to it, but it will go quite frothy. Can they see that?
Not at all.
Not at all. There's not a lot of mixture.
There you go.
So it's quite frothy and light, and we're just going to keep that up. So if you're whisking by hand, just go and whisk as much as you can do.
We just got asked a question, when's the Boozy Baker cookbook out? There's 2 already out.
Yes, I'll let you know in a second. Right, you just put it on a higher, that's it, yeah, go for it. Yep. We're going to go a bit more.
Did you put the yolk in too?
Yeah, it's the yolk as well. I know, it's not just the egg white, it is just you're putting as much air into the egg and the sugar before we fold the flour in. And that's it for the sponge. It is like a Swiss roll. So I know that with that you separate the egg, but there's not a lot to it. So we're just expanding this mixture just by getting some air into it. So it's looking pretty white now with lots of bubbles on the top from the air we put in. Can they see that?
Just about, yeah.
Lower, higher?
That's better, yeah.
There. So I'm going to give that a minute longer and then that's it. Okay? Do you want to do it?
Oh, that's so
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
There's lots of questions. It is the whole egg has gone into there.
Yeah, the whole egg. It's honestly, it's not that complicated for Jaffa cakes. You think it is because of all the different bits to it, but it is just 1 egg, 25 grams of sugar, and just whisk it. That's it. There's no separating anything. I think you guys want more of a challenge. It's all right. I guess I'll do another one, which is separating eggs. And then to that, you're going to put in 25 grams of self-raising flour, and I'm just going to sieve it in because, again, I want it to be as light as possible.
Fiona's just asked, can she put vodka in the jelly?
Well, why not?
Of course.
You know, you could do that instead of water.
Absolutely, we would, but Max has eaten them.
Right, so I've just sieved in 25 grams of flour. And then I'm going to fold that in. What I mean by fold is I'm going to take the spoon from under the mix and lift it on top. And I'm going to do that motion rather than mixing it because I want to keep the air in. So just very carefully fold on top of each other so you're keeping the air inside. And I might even rotate the bowl so I'm just making sure it's all different. Don't worry if you've got little specks of flour left in your mix. It doesn't matter. We're not looking for something that is completely and utterly smooth. It can have flecks of flour still being shown. Do you want to do this or shall I do this bit?
Can you?
Yeah, okay. So just lifting it up very carefully. There's not a lot of mixture, so it's just being really gentle with it.
Karen only has plain flour, so roughly how much baking powder does she need to add?
Just a pinch. You do, yeah, I think a pinch is probably about right. It's not a lot of mixture we're using. So I'm just, any pockets of flour, I'm just making sure that I've folded it in enough. Yeah.
With the whisking, when do they know it's ready?
Just give it a few minutes, and when it's light and it's all white and fluffy, like, you know, it's got bubbles on top and it just looks aerated, that'll be fine. The whole thing with this is just to get it to be a very light sponge. Right. That's all right there, Max.
Yep.
Is a very, you can see the bubbles as I move it. You can see the bubbles kind of popping on the top almost where the air's in it. So that's how it's looking now. Can they see that?
Yeah. Can you repeat how much flour went in there?
25 grams. So that's it. That's your sponge bit. So we've got 25 grams of sugar, whisked together with 1 egg, whole egg, and then once that's nice and fluffy and lots of air put into it by whisking it, we've sieved in 25 grams of self-raising flour and just gently folded it in. Now we're going to separate that into the 12 holes of the muffin tin. You're only going to want about a dessert spoon. It's really, you'll be scraping the bowl out at the end. It doesn't need a lot because they're going to rise a bit anyway. And you've got to remember the size of Jaffa cake. They're quite small, so you're not looking for this massive amount of batter. Shall we have a go?
Yeah.
Maybe that spoon.
I got the chocolate ready.
You got the chocolate ready. We'll come on to that. So we've got Max. So with a dessert spoon, I'm just going to gently pop in. You can always come back and put a bit extra into a muffin tin. Do I have to keep an eye on you?
No.
No?
I've got my eye on.
So I'm not trying to bring it to the edges. I'm just spooning a bit into each. I'm not spreading it or anything. It will naturally do that, really. You're right there, Max?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yep.
So can you see it almost seems to grow in the base of each of the holes there. It spreads out a bit,
Quite a
doesn't it?
thick mixture.
Well, it's very light, very, very light. And already I'm scraping the bowl out. I'm hoping I've done it for 12. If I have done it for 11, then I've been a bit over excessive with my spoon. It goes to show that you don't get masses with these. you can pinch from another one if you need to. Just, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to scrape the bowl out.
Vicky's asked, is the tin buttered and floured?
Buttered. It's buttered. You can try putting some flour on it, but you just need to make sure whatever you do is to avoid it sticking. Now, I've got one little diddy one there and one bigger one, so I'm just going to scoop a bit up, pinch some, and put it in there.
Then we've got a little bitty one there.
No, that's still fine. I'm just making sure they're all even. Are you criticising, Max? There. Does that look a bit better?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's see if I can get any more out of here. We're pretty stingy on the amounts, but then if you had lots, then you'd end up with these ginormous Jaffa cakes, which I know doesn't sound like a problem, but you're back with the chocolate again, aren't you? I can see you in the corner of my eye, Max Wilding. There we go. Right, once you have your sponges, you can put those into the oven. Thank you very much. And that's for about 7 to 9 minutes. So that's not 79, 7 to 9 minutes. And what you're looking for is, I'll just, no. That one.
Nice smile.
There we go. Right, we're on a timer now. So yeah, set it for 7 minutes. Oh, apparently I've still done it wrong. Have I?
That's fine.
It's fine. So set it for about 7 minutes. And then we need to check them. They should be rising, they should be golden. They don't take very long because it's a tiny amount of sponge. So let those cook, and meanwhile, Max, we can get on with the chocolate. Well, ask if anyone's got any questions first, though.
Has anyone seen Isabel's tea towel?
You're all keeping Mr. Beatty Baker's very contained today. I'll have a look, hang on. No, I'm sorry, it's not here.
What shelf of the oven?
So middle shelf is always preferred, just so that your hot air is circulating around it. Max is gone. Do you see the tea towel? No? He's useless.
Sarah's mix is a bit runny, is that okay? And how long for the tray bake in the oven?
Okay, so if it's a bit runny, don't worry, go with it. Thing is, you haven't got a lot of ingredients here, so if you're not happy with it first time round, you can always have another go. So in the oven, you want 7, 9 minutes at most. So I set our oven to 7 minutes, and we'll check them, and we want it to be nice and golden. So, mister, with the chocolate there, the next thing you're going to want to do is prepare your chocolate. Now, we've got some little chocolate drops. I mean, they're like little chocolate chips. If you've got a block of chocolate, what you're going to want to do is dice it to make it into smaller pieces. And you've got about 90 grams here. If you want to use a bit more, then you're welcome to. If you like licking the bowl out and you want a bit more, then stick a bit more in, it's fine. But so to be able to do this within the workshop, here's my advice. You want to melt it, but not too much. You want it that whatever heat source you're using isn't doing all the work. So I'm going to put ours in the microwave for 30 seconds. I'm hoping that's going to warm the bowl up enough that I can stir the rest of the chocolate chips in so that it starts melting of its own heat. And the reason I'm doing that is because it won't go too runny, and then I can use it quite quickly. The worst thing that's going to happen is it goes too hard again and we have to remelt it for a few seconds. It might need a bit longer than that, but all I'm saying is don't blitz it for too long, or if you're putting it over a hob, the other thing you can do is fill a pan of water, put a bit of boiling water in the bottom and put it over a heat, and then get a heat-proof bowl with your chocolate in and put it over the top like a bain-marie, and then stir that chocolate until it starts to melt. But take it off before it completely melts, because otherwise it's going to be so hot you can't use it on your Jaffa cake. So, Amma, she's going to put it in for 30 seconds and then we'll see what it looks like. But you may need to chop your chocolate, but hey, we've got a few minutes before they can come out, and then we've also got to wait for them to cool down for a few minutes, so you've got some time. 1 minute left on the sponges. Thank you.
A bit longer.
Okay, so I've got a really warm bowl, really warm bowl. So I'm going to use a teaspoon. I'm just going to, if you can see, I've got a lot of chocolate chips still looking quite solid, but we've got quite a lot melted and we've got the heat of the bowl. So we're just going to stir that in. You can't eat it yet, Max. I know, mean mummy. Well, that's stirring in really nicely, so I don't think that'll need any more heating. It just needs mixing together. If you find that it is a bit runny and too hot, you could always put a few more chocolate chips into it just to cool it down. Oh, that's Max. Do you want to keep stirring that up? Yeah.
Jess has forgotten the oven temperature, so it was 180 degrees or 160 fan or gas mark 3?
Gas mark
4.
Gas mark 4, yeah. So I just checked our Jaffa cakes, they're not done yet, they're looking quite pale. So if you saw me, I just quickly opened it up slightly, saw that they were quite white still, so I've just given them a few more minutes. Yeah.
We've got different versions of them coming up, so we've got raspberries and white chocolate Jaffa.
Nice.
And there's a lot of people wanting to make chocolate orange.
Oh yeah, excellent.
To go on top of it.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of love for the eclairs. Some people saying they've been their nemesis, so they will try them alongside.
Yeah, so I really looked into this. We did a special order last week for a lady that was craving eclairs. So I remember having cravings when pregnant, and I thought, no, we'll do that. So we made some eclairs. I thought, actually, this would make a really good workshop. And what stops us doing some things in a workshop is when you need to have something that chills or sets. Anyway, I've sorted it. We can do it all within the workshop. It's fine. So I will put the details up next week, and I'll fill that with lots of hints and tips for you as well. So we'll get the perfect chocolate eclairs. Other thing, guys, I'd love to see your pictures. So when you've made your Jaffa cakes, before you devour them, try just to take a photo of them quickly. Do you not think?
No, obviously no.
And someone else asked earlier about a Boozy Baker's book. You can find 2 recipe books. One, I haven't got any copies of one available, have I? But the other one, we've got Lockdown Baking with Boozy Bakers, and we've got Lockdown Baking, a Second Helping with Boozy Bakers, and they're both available on Amazon. So if you look up, the author name is Michelle Wilding, which is me, or look up Lockdown Baking with Boozy Bakers.
Barbara thinks she might have over-whisked her eggs and sugar. Hers has risen a lot.
No, that's fine. That's great.
Moira's asked, how about butterfly cakes, please? And Mark, I know Mark keeps asking for Cornish pasties. It will be one we'll get to.
I know. I need to do Cornish pasties. Right. Yeah, that, to be honest, Mark, I really wanted to do the sausage rolls or Cornish pasties, but I just haven't got my act together. Right, so in front of me, I'll lift them up to the camera actually. Oh, would you mind switching the time? If you press that one for me. Thank you.
Also, a suggestion, Stollen.
Stollen, okay. Right, there you go. That's the sponges. Can they see those?
Yep.
So they've risen slightly and they are golden. So I want to leave those in the tin for a minute, just so that they firm up a bit. It's a really hot tray, so just be careful with the tray there, Max. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to...
I got some.
Just go and wash your hands now.
No.
Yeah, you're going to have to wash your hands because you're going to be handling all the Jaffa cakes. It's one way of claiming them all, I suppose. So we'll be removing these from the tin so they can finish cooling down on the rack. And then we're going to start assembling them with the jelly and the chocolate. So the chocolate has got a little bit of heat in it, but it's not too much. So by the time we've assembled it will all be ready to just load up. The other thing you might want to have ready is a fork if you want to pattern the top of your Jaffa cake. So bear with me. I've lost Mr. Boozy Bakers, he's finding the tea towel for Max. There we go, Max is coming back. Have we got any questions whilst we wait for these to cool down a minute? Has everyone else got theirs out the oven now? Or are they still waiting for them? Yeah.
And Isabel just asked Max, is that her tea towel?
Max, you found it yet? Right, I'm going to use a spoon just to try and release the sides.
We've lost Max.
He's gone. He's gone. I'm just going to go round the edges. They do stick a bit, so just be very gentle with them. And don't worry if they stick a tiny bit. Right, very sorry Max, I don't mean to poke you in the nose. There you go, that's one out.
Oh, they're tiny.
I might need another cooling rack actually, because I put my tray on the cooling rack. Thank you. Lovely. You're a hazard today. Right, so I'm just going to leave it on the side. So once you've got them a little bit cool, as I said, these don't take very long because of the size of them, but start removing them from the tin. They do have a habit of sticking slightly. So you're doing some, Max?
Yeah.
I'm worried I'm going to catch you with my elbow.
I'm worried you're going to catch me with your elbow.
That's what I mean. There we go. I'll come away slightly. So you have to go right round it, Max.
We've had another suggestion and Max will like it. Quesadilla.
Yes! I've wanted to do that for ages.
There we go. Popular there. Yeah, we do take on a lot of your ideas, and this was a request. We've also done soft pretzels. Someone was missing a particular supermarket's soft pretzels. You're right there, Max.
I can't get this one out.
You're right.
Just slightly.
Just go underneath a bit more. That's it. Well done. Perfect.
Tony's asking how about Cointreau in the jelly?
Yeah, you put Cointreau in the jelly. Absolutely. Go for it. I will come up with some ideas for eclairs. If you want to make them boozy, I might do a bit of a boozy ganache on top. If you don't want to just do chocolate.
Baileys in the cream.
Baileys in the cream. You do like the Baileys cream,
like
don't
the
you?
Baileys cream.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm giving more suggestions from the sidelines there.
Baileys.
You're right there, Max. Let's go around the whole side. That's it. You have to just loosen it around the whole side. That's it.
I'll do this one.
Okay, there we go.
Leslie's saying she can't find pretzels, soft or hard ones. So
Oh, well,
you can go to YouTube and follow our recipe.
If you look on YouTube, you will find soft pretzels, and they're so fun to make. If anyone's got kids over the half term looking for something to do, you do have to manage it a bit because it's. It's alright, just mismanaging things. Thank you. Yeah, you do have to watch it because you're dealing with a pan of hot water, but they're really fun to make. Right, so in front of you, you should have your tray of little Jaffa cake sponges. Okay? Is that alright? Can they see that? We got thumbs up when we've got to that stage.
We have. We've also got people talking about other workshops we've done. So Louisa said, plug your ricotta pancakes for Pancake Day.
Yes, good point, Louise. Yeah, Pancake Day. Do go and have a look at our ricotta pancakes. They are really luxury pancakes. Have your maple syrup at the ready, or some yogurt and some berries. Maybe even a bit of bacon on the side and go quite American with it. But they are really delicious pancakes, and they are available to watch on YouTube. And you like making those, don't you? Right, could we have the jelly, please? Thank you. You're just enjoying stirring that, aren't you?
It's really satisfying.
Wanda's saying, just can you please slow down a little bit? They don't have the assistance you have.
Sorry. We might need to stop stirring for a second. It's okay. So you've got your Jaffa cake sponges, the jelly, and then the chocolates. Now, I've got a couple of cutters here. You can use different sizes, but you're going to want something that is smaller than your sponge. So it sits on top, and then you can put chocolate either side. What do you reckon? Which size would you like? Would you like that size? So you've got about 7 millimeters around it, or do you want a bigger amount?
That one.
You want that one, do
means there's
you?
more leftover chocolate.
Does it?
Yeah.
We've got some very inventive people out there
Have
today.
we?
Basically, some are struggling because they don't have the cutters, so they've come up with glasses.
I was going to say, champagne flutes are particularly good.
Yeah. Glasses, shot glasses, which has got a few people asking. Someone said shots.
Egg cups.
Egg cups is coming through as well. So, and bottles as well. So
yeah, really good ideas. I was going to say a champagne flute for cutting out is actually quite good. Something which is about, I think that's about 4 or 5 centimetres. It doesn't have to be exact, it just has to be smaller than your Jaffa cake and just give it a little bit of an edge. Well done for finding other alternatives than a cutter. So Max, I'm going to do one and then I'm going to leave you to do some then. So because this jelly can make more than these 12, if you do want to make some more, I'd keep your cutting out to like close together just so that you don't waste the jelly. I know some people will just eat it, which is fine. But what you want to do is cut a round of jelly out and place it on the top of your Jaffa cake. These are cold already. So it looks like that. Can you see that, darling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you're going to take some chocolate, not too much, go with half a teaspoon and place it on top of your cold jelly. The reason I'd put it straight on top of the cold jelly is because it will start to chill the chocolate enough that it will set. And what I'm going to do is just push it, once it's on the jelly, spread it over the top of the disc and then push it over the sides to the edge of your sponge. You can always add more chocolate, but you might find it easier to do it bit by bit so it doesn't run everywhere and over your fingers. So just delicately, I'm using the back of the spoon just to push it around, like so. And you can see it's not running off because the chocolate isn't too thin or too hot, and it's touched that cold jelly, which is going to start setting it pretty quickly. So you can see that it's covered it, and then you can just use a fork to gently mark it. If it goes back in, give it a second and then mark it. So we'll put those on the side. There we go. Can they see the plate there?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to just add them to the plate.
That is beautiful.
Yeah? So Max, are you going to get some jelly? And if you go for this side and just do them close together. How's everyone else? Are they okay?
We've got lots of people who have said how many they've made, mini ones. There's people who've made the larger ones as well.
Yeah, excellent. So if you made a larger one, it'd be interesting to know how long you have to leave it in. I'd have said it's probably about double the amount of time, but it might not have been that long. And then if you're making a larger one, if you want to do 2 pieces of jelly on top of each other, well done. Then you could do that just to give a bigger amount, or you could even do one bigger one and then a slightly smaller one just to get a bit of a mound.
Are there any other children joining in?
Yeah, have we got any children doing this? I know we've got Evie and Charlie, Max's friends, doing this. That's it, Max. So if you cover the whole of the jelly first, so you've got all your spreading out is over something that's cold, so it will encourage it to set, and then you just push it over the edges ever so slightly. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're slow. It's not spilling, is it? You haven't got it dripping over your fingers. It's looking good.
I can't be.
So you might just need a tiny bit more. Always start it on the jelly and then push it off the jelly. That's my advice.
It's the children with us. We've got Freya, aged 11, Daniel, aged 13, Gemma and Chloe, they're 11, Grace is 11.
Brilliant! That's
Lottie.
the age for Jaffa cake. Have a little spoon, please.
Lottie, 4 next month, Anna, 10, doing it with her mum, her mum Rebecca, Oliver and Alice, and Alex with her daughter Ellie, and Claudine's kids are making them.
Who is, sorry?
Claudine's kids are making
brilliant. It is a good one to do. I think it's a good one for half term as well.
Oh.
Keeps it busy. That's fine, Max. That's fine. Just keep having a go, and your next one, you'll have a better idea. Remember, Mummy's made these before.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just putting it on the chocolate first. You can see the concentration on our faces. putting the chocolate on the jelly and then just pushing it around the edges. Well done.
Yeah.
First one, Max. First one.
Oh, great. All the jellies come off.
Just leave it. Let it set. Let it set.
I can always come back and just put a bit more on. There we go.
Ooh.
Don't lick it.
The temptation, Max. Here you go. If you need a bit more chocolate by the end, just melt a bit more up. But there should be enough to do your 12. Are you struggling, Max? Is it all about the eating now?
Yeah.
So if you do have any questions or you want some advice, do let me know. I'll try and show you to the camera. I'm putting just a teaspoon onto the jelly and I'm using the back of the spoon to smooth it out over the jelly. And then, can they see what I'm doing? I'm going to come even closer. Can they see that?
Yeah, come up a bit.
Up a
That's
bit.
it.
So I've put the chocolate over the jelly and then, sorry, just try and get a better angle for you. I'm going to push it over the edges. You can always add a bit more chocolate to the jelly, but because the jelly is cold, it'll help set it.
Amanda's chocolate's not spreading very easily. You might need to melt it again.
Yeah, if it starts to firm up, melt it. And put it back in just for a few seconds, not too long. But that might be the issue. It will set quite quickly because we're dealing with small amounts, thin layers, and we've got something cool underneath it.
More children join us. Ibrahim 11 and Amina 9. Aria aged 5 is helping brilliantly with Chris.
Brilliant.
Nicola's got Isla who's 6 with there.
Well done, guys.
We've got Libby 13 and Ellie 16 doing it with Caroline. Grandad and Archie who's 11, each making 12.
Brilliant. Oh yeah, send us your photos. And if you do want your photo with you in it, just let us know and we can post it to our page. But yeah, it's lovely to see everyone baking along. We love holding these workshops and baking with you.
Fiona's hubby and her daughter Lucy are doing it. Lucy's 11.
Brilliant.
And we've got Dave who's 54.
I love this part of baking sometimes. I know if you're not into kind of doing this little bit, and I know it gets a bit tough and it's a bit fiddly, but I just find it a bit therapeutic, just focusing on something. And then you get to enjoy it afterwards as well. And so if you are new to Boozy Bakers, do follow our page for updates on future events. As I said, we will put one up for Eclairs. And we do post out across the UK. So if you're looking for a sweet treat, do have a look. What else? YouTube channel. Subscribe to YouTube. We have got so many workshops that you can go and enjoy. We've got bread, pasta, cakes, cinnamon buns, gooey chocolate cookies. There's all sorts. So do go take a look. Oh, pizza night as well, and lasagna's on there. There's loads. So if you subscribe, then you can be updated with all of our different videos. And if you have enjoyed the workshop, they will always be free, our workshops. But if you do want to donate, we do use any donations for practicing, ingredients, things like that. Then you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Boozy Bakers, and we have a page. We will put the link, but if you want to buy us a virtual drink as a thank you, we do appreciate it. Thank you very much in advance. Put that up. Thank you. Mr. Boozy Bakers has just added it to the link. But we do love baking with you. It's fantastic to have such an international audience today. I know I was talking to a lady from India earlier about the jelly, what they could get out there. It's fantastic. We love it. It's really nice to join people together. Have you done it, Max? You happy with that one?
Tina asked, why can't you just pour the chocolate on top?
I suppose you can. It's just making sure that you don't over pour and get it everywhere. It's such a small amount that we're using. So it's just, I tend to spread it out just so I can keep control of it. Sorry, Max, do you want me to do another one? Max, we're done. Are you eating the jelly now? Shall we show our cakes, Jaffa cakes? There we go.
Everyone can eat.
You can eat one now if you want.
Trish said one just fell into her mouth. It's so good.
Oh no! It's awful when that happens. Are you eating yours now?
Daniela's used a toothpick because the fork got too
Good idea.
thick with chocolate. Fiona said it's their first time, so thanks, they've enjoyed it.
You're very
Deborah
welcome.
saying thank you, they look amazing. Children starting batch 2 now.
Yeah. I think Max will. I think that's why I had the extra muffin tins, because I know doing another tin, if you've only got one tin to begin with, is quite tricky, but they're so quick to make. Introduce your kids to these and you'll never have to buy biscuits again. They'll just make Jaffa cakes for you. Is that nice?
So not for you, me.
Just for you?
Yep.
What, you're not going to make it for us?
No.
Rubbish.
Graham said tea. Where is the G in tea? Next week. I'll make sure there's one for her.
I know we do have a glass of wine or a gin and tonic.
It means less talking.
Lottie's verdict. OMG, they're so good.
Excellent. Go send us your photos. We'd love to see them. And if you've got you and your family baking together and you want to send us a photo of you all with them, please do. We're happy to share them on our page. We do love seeing your pictures.
And
Max!
Lynn is saying she feels a snacksident is about to happen.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to see her just like this with Max. Go, yeah, okay, try that one, just to make sure that they're all
It's
good.
the quality control.
Oh no!
Quality control department.
So I hope you've really enjoyed yourselves. It's been fun. We will put the event for Claire's on next week. We'll put it on today for next week, so do look out for that. Do feel free to share our page and tell people about our events. We love baking with you. I think, Max, was that a whole one? Can you talk? No. Right. I'm going to take these away from Max before he devours them all, and we will see you again next week. Thanks for joining us, guys. Bye.